The house is just a vibe. There's no way around it. It's a vibe. What's up? It's Lynn. I wanted to hop on and make sure I got you this review of the House of Beau. I saw it online and purchased this Discovery set during their Black Friday sale. It was a really good price. And so it comes with three fragrances. You get to choose the three that you want. I think you can choose by like category or something, but I chose individually. No rhyme or reason. I just looked at some notes, said, "Ooh, I like that," and one was just so far outside of my normal scent profile. I was like, "Ooh, let me try that and do it." And so that's where I'll start. That one was Oro Verde, and it's green. It's very, very, very green. And that being said, it has a extremely prominent cannabis note in it, and there's no hiding or running from or mistaking the cannabis note. It is kind of like it's definitely a scent for a free spirit, someone that is out in the world and they're just doing their own thing. I've worn it twice. I generally wear fragrances to work and give it a whole day feel to see how people respond and what it's like. My people I work with are kind of used to it. This one I can't wear to work because of the cannabis note is just too loud and it's too obvious. It's what it is. There's no mistaking it. So that one I couldn't wear to work. Now the first time I wore it, it dried down a little bit and it pulled sweet, and it has a watermelon note in it. That's like the only sweet note that's in it, and it went to that, and I was like, ooh, this is what I'm gonna buy a full bottle of. It's so different. It's so outside my normal scent profile. No one would expect it, and it would be such a different thing for me. But the second time I'm wearing it, which is today, I wore it all day today. I have it on now. Oh wait, it's starting to go a little sweet. It had been green like all day. It's starting to pull a little sweet again. But how I generally layer is I do body and clothes. And so the clothes are green. Like that doesn't change. It went on green. It stayed green. However, it's pulling a little sweet. I'm a little shocked. Okay, I like it. I'm back to liking it again. At first I was just like, I'm not sure. But it's pulling sweet. So the notes are bergamot. I'm looking at my notes. Bergamot, cannabis. I believe it's mate. I'm not sure if it's mate or mate. Watermelon, basil. Basil can be sweet. Vetiver, Palo Santo, which I love, ambergris, and moss. So Palo Santo makes it a little smoky, right? The watermelon and basil kind of give it a little sweetness, and vetiver makes it a little woody and smoky. But on me, it's starting to pull sweet again. I do like it now that it's pulling a little bit sweet. But those green notes, they are green notes. Like that's just what they are. There's no getting around that. I believe all of that aligns with kind of what the focus of the brand is, right? It's based in what they want you to maintain some mindfulness and healing properties because there are different stones, and those stones are believed to have different healing properties and a lot of cultural practices. However, they're a luxury brand, so it's a higher an elevated approach to using these scents in that way. So it's not, yes, it smells like the notes that are there, but it's not the standard typical um, formulation of it, if you will. What we're getting with a lot of fragrances that are out right now are just, some of them are very literal. This isn't literal. So you would need to get your hands on it and go smell it and give it a wear to see if it's for you. That was for the first one. The second one is Casablanca. So Casablanca, so the House of Beau is a luxury brand. So their scents are elevated, although they use these herbs and minerals that align with having healing properties, and that's kind of consistent theme throughout all of their branding and all of the items that are related to the house, right? So the bottles for the travel set, they refer to them as potion bottles, which I think is absolutely adorable. They use a lot of natural herbs, right? So we said cannabis. This next one I'm going to talk about has a lot of tea scents, and that's Casablanca, right? So there's creamy minerals, white tea, labdanum, Capo Blanco, desert fig, white suede, vanilla bourbon, because alcohol has healing properties too, or at least believed to, white oud, tobacco. All of those things are blended together to make a scent. Now, again, how I imagine that those all would have come together, that's nothing of how they come together. They, again, it's a different, elevated type of scent. It's not literal. So remember that their interpretation of all of these different notes, when they bring them together, it's not literal. It's not what you would expect. It's a luxury brand, so it's an elevated experience. That being said, back to I wear them to work. And so I love oud. I like tea. I dang sure like a bourbon note. But I actually really do like all those notes. So I was like, okay, this aligns. This is my scent profile. Let me try it. And I put it on. And I was like, can I smell it? What is happening? I don't smell it. Where is this going? Once I warmed up a bit, I did smell it, but I was just like, it's okay. Not in a bad way. It smelled good. It just wasn't what I thought it would be because it's not a literal interpretation. And so then my coworkers, because I wear their work, my coworkers smelled it and it was just like, oh my God, that smells so good. What are you wearing? And so I tell them and I ask, what does it smell like to you? And what I got from multiple people was, you smell like a boutique hotel. Like that's a boutique hotel scent. And I was like, huh. And they didn't know anything about the brand. They didn't know anything about the house. I was like, so that aligns with this elevated luxury experience. You know, that's the thing that people were going for the boutique hotel sense. And so Casablanca aligns with that. Will I be buying a full bottle of Casablanca? Not this one. However, it's a good scent, especially if you want to do something, you don't want a literal interpretation. You like those notes, but you don't want beast mode. So these aren't beast mode. You're not going to get that. They are not loud. They don't enter the room before you. There is sillage. There is projection. I smelled sillage and projection with Casablanca. So part of it is like when I got in a car, I could smell the perfume in the car. I could smell my perfume in the car, and I was like, oh, okay, there's some projection here. I can smell it. That other people can smell it. So there you will. It's just not. They're not going to be beast mode type of scents. Again, it's an elevated experience. It's a luxury interpretation and experience of these scents. It's a good scent. And the last one that was in my discovery scent is Bonbon. Now I looked at those notes. It is a floral gourmand, and so I was like, okay, this works. But sprayed it and was like, oh, okay. Got a little concerned because I thought that I couldn't smell it, didn't think that it was projecting. And again, this is not a literal gourmand. The gourmand girlies and the gourmand gang, who everybody wants the gourmand. This one isn't for you. This yes, it's gourmand, but it's not a literal gourmand. So don't do that. Don't go get this. Listen to my review. The notes are lychee, lily of the valley, white saffron, pink pepper, marshmallow, bergamot caramel. Didn't know that was a thing. White birch, aged cognac, and ambergris. Now, again, these notes are right up my alley. They're right in my scent profile, but it's an elevated interpretation. So it's not a literal gourmand. So many of the gourmands that everyone's talking about right now, that's so out there on the market, that has saturated the market, they are literal gourmands. I smell caramel. I smell cognac, or I smell this. While that you can smell them in there, it's not in that way. I was concerned. I sprayed it and I was just like, okay, yeah, like I kind of smell it. But as my body warmed up and the scent warmed up, I actually caught my sillage, and I was just like, oh, I like this. This is beautiful. Okay, this works for me. The notes, the scents, they're all kind of working together. You won't get hit in the face with a bunch of caramel. That's not going to happen. I couldn't smell the cognac. However, again, I was at work. My coworkers smelled it and it was like, oh, this smells boozy. Like, what are you wearing? And so once I was able to say, oh, I couldn't smell it, but other people could. And I liked the way it smelled once it warmed up on me. I was like, oh, this is great. But again, this is not a literal gourmand. Um, this is not the first thing to run out and get without trying it first. These are beautiful scents, but you want to make sure that you know what you're getting. And overall, the House of Bo is an elevated take on some of the current popular notes right now. I love that. I love this elevated experience. I think the best way to kind of sum it up was the boutique, sophisticated hotel, right? I think it's a vibe. It is an experience. It's an elevated experience. It's a sophisticated take on a lot of the popular and current notes. Would I say that these are safe blind buys? Absolutely not. Only because these notes are popular now, but the way that they're being executed is not the same way. So if someone unknowingly goes and buys these and thinks that they're going to get like this floral gourmand and they're going to get a standard gourmand that's like out right now, they're going to be disappointed. It's best to buy their discovery set and figure out what works for you with these notes. Again, Bonbon is my favorite. That's the one I'm going to go back and buy a full size bottle of, because that one aligned with me best, and it worked best with my body chemistry. And I really like the way the sillage and projection all came together once it warmed up and the notes began to develop and work their way out. I loved it. It's great. They have sales, or they just had a sale. They had a really good Black Friday sale. Not sure if they'll do that again, but they've also sent me a couple of coupons. And so it's worth looking into if you're interested and curious. You do have to purchase them, of course, online. They came in the mail. Mine came a little slow, but it's holiday season and mail in Houston is just trash. So I can't even blame that on them. Otherwise, it's beautiful packaging. It's a story, right? We're getting a branding. They're telling you a whole story. They're interested. There's a healing aesthetic. There's an elevated luxury experience with this. I think it's worth it. Let me know what you do when you go out and get it.